Boy. All right, what topic is it?
Let me get the right point here, bro.
Topic's abortion, I'm pretty sure.
Topic's abortion. Who's taking what position? So Rizzhan's taking the pro-life position, presumably.
Yeah.
Rizzhan versus Pucci. Pucci? How do I pronounce it?
Pucci, just say whatever you want, bro.
I think Keita was better, by the way, but let's ping for it.
No, we're not. We're leaving Kedat in 2022, bro.
Pucci dad then? I don't know. Abortion debate. Is it for C3? Year 3? Sorry?
No.
What was that?
Yeah,
No, it's for tier 2 for Rizzhan.
Ooh, bye. Yeah, to debate. All right, let's get it.
Can you give me your position for pro-life really quick?
Like a position, so I just believe that issue. What I mean by pro-life marriage, in most cases, it's morally wrong to abort the fetus.
Okay, it's generally wrong to abort a fetus. Why is that the case?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get the argument for that now. One sec.
Okay. Oh, where are you gonna send it, by the way?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Send it in the side chat if you can. All right, just send it in main. I'll just copy it and put it on the page. All right. Wait, where is it? Oh, in scans.
It's scans. And Julie Pop.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. For any organism X, if it exists at time A and does not die at any point after time A, then this organism still exists. Let Fs be the fetus I have developed from. If Fs has not died, then Fs still exists. Fs has not died, therefore Fs still exists. If Fs doesn't either exist in proper form, it is a numerical identical organism to me. If it's not in a proper form. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Yeah, my fault. I'm writing this down. I have a few issues with the argument.
Yeah.
So the first thing. Yeah. So first before I pose like the issue, I'm just gonna ask like a simple question based on the argument. Is there like presuppositions about personal identity?
Well, yeah, this assumes animalism.
Okay, it assumes animalism. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would just take it to be the case that like I disagree with animalism in this sense. I don't think you can be numerically identical to something that doesn't persist over time. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, you'd have to prove that. You have to prove the organism doesn't persist over time.
Can you speak louder, please?
So you have to prove that the organism isn't the type of thing that persists over time.
Oh, okay. Even though I wouldn't even though like I don't necessarily need to prove a negative, and you would need to like prove the persistent property. I'll just like simply just say that like I'm pretty agnostic. I'm sorry. I'm like really not done speaking. I'm pretty agnostic on the view of like how an organism can be a person. I'm sorry that I'm not done speaking. I'm pretty agnostic on like the view that like an organism can be a persisting property because I have yet to see like something. Like I have yet to see. I'm like. I don't know why I'm being talked over. I really don't know. I really don't know why I'm being talked over. I really don't know why I'm being talked over.
Who is that? It's not even Shinra, it's just somebody.
Yeah, so look, when I take a persisting property to be, I'm gonna lay it out since I was rudely interrupted. Like, why is this nigga speaking? Holy shit, I'm local muting this nigga. As I was saying, right?
Yo, Paula, mute your fucking mic, you nigger.
Yeah, this is like mute this fucking movie, bro. Like, holy shit. Yeah, so when it comes to persisting property, right? Like I can definitely understand the whole like idea behind numerical like identity and all of this, but I take it that when you apply this in sort of an animalist perspective, it becomes kind of problematic because of the fact that there isn't necessarily going to be something that you are a persisting property of. I can explain this really quick. With the I'm like it's so weird. It's like really weird because like I'm sorry. It's so weird because I was going to ask you a question and you rudely interrupted.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
semantic
sorry.
point
Like,
for
do you have you taken your pills? Because like for some reason you're having these like schizo
There's
moments
just
where
a
you start
semantic
speaking over me
thing
when I
wrong.
didn't tell you to. I'm
You can
glad
just
you
go
okay.
on.
I'm glad you think that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you think
You can
that.
go
Yeah.
on.
So I'm like I don't know why you're still speaking over me. I
I
really don't
just
know
said
why
you
you're
can
speaking
go
over me.
on.
You're gonna
I just said you can go
you're
on.
gonna behave good. Look, calm
I just
down.
said that you
Stop
can
being
carry on
excited.
speaking.
Yes, okay, yes, I heard it the first time. So I don't know why you're repeating it to me for like the fifth time. Calm
Okay,
the fuck
so I'll
down.
carry on
So,
speaking.
oh my goodness, like, can you tell me to speak and then you
Yeah,
don't let me
I
speak?
just
Like, what the fuck
told
is
you,
your
I told
problem?
you to carry on.
What the fuck is your problem? Calm the
Yes,
fuck
go
down.
on.
Holy shit.
Go
Oh
ahead,
my
go,
god, this
go
nigga's gonna say
on.
yes, go on. Like, for how? Okay, okay, look, I'll do a counter right now of how many
Yeah,
times you say
I'm
yes, go
quiet
on, and
now.
don't let me
Yeah,
go
you're
on.
speaking.
Yeah, all right, good boy. Yeah, so as I was saying, right, I'm gonna present like a simple question to you, and this is gonna go hand in hand with the whole persisting property thing. Why don't you apply this to like sperms or like eggs? I think it is the case that they're going to be. I'm not done with my question. I take it to be
Just
the
ask
case
me a
that I
question,
can
bro.
be. Why don't you apply this to sperms and eggs? Because I take it to be the case that they can definitely apply it to some sort of like numerical identity because of this argument.
That's a shitty ass son. Nigga, you gonna
To, look, even before you made the sperm and egg question, there was a lot of points that you made that I think like, I don't know between points when it's onto those. Then I'll just answer the sperm and egg question. So one of the first point around you not needing proof. Well, yeah, kind of how it works. It doesn't matter if you make a negative claim in a bit. If you make a claim, then you must expect to actually prove the claim, unless somebody has made a positive claim before that. I didn't make a positive claim before that I didn't presuppose before that an organism isn't type is a type of thing that persists through time. You're the one who first made the claim and first made the presupposition that the organism isn't the type of that persists time. So because you're making a negative, I think you're proving a negative claim, meaning that you're suddenly exempt from proving it. Like 20, that's like 20 debating, like
No,
29
look,
debating, like
Rizzhan, I don't know if it's
debating.
like what I said. I don't know if it's like came out your ear the second like it entered it, right?
Wait,
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I just want to make it like very
yeah, I
clear.
wasn't.
Even though
Wait,
I
no,
said
you're the
that,
one who interrupted me.
I don't give a fuck if you're not finished. Like I
Yeah,
really don't give a fuck.
Damn.
wait, you're
So as I was
wait,
saying, right?
Yanni, he is
Look, I
wait,
have to
Rizzhan,
look. I can definitely interject with like this point you
Yanni,
made because I definitely said that I can
Yo,
compare this.
guys. By the way, real quick.
wait, yeah, he's literally the one who
Tell me.
interrupted me, bro. Like,
Don't
I'll
interrupt me,
speak
Yannis.
and he
Look,
interrupted me.
broski. Both of you, like brothers. Come on. We gotta have some code. Like, we see to be cordial. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So what's gonna
exactly.
happen
Because
is,
oh,
yeah.
I
Wait,
was
wait, wait,
speaking
wait, wait,
and
wait,
you
wait,
interrupted
wait,
me.
I ain't gonna let Riz on. If you talk over Yanni one more time, I dare you.
wait. Okay, what's gonna happen is, um, I'll
You
let
don't even know.
Rizwan continue. I'll let shut the fuck up, bro. I'll let Rizwan continue, and then Pucci can speak after, and then we can do healthy interjections after. Okay, Rizwan, next time I speak, please stop cutting me off. I'm trying to get this debate going. I said,
Okay,
shut up, little ass nigga.
yeah,
Shut your
just
dick
to
right ass
respond
up.
to that, just because you're negative claim doesn't mean you're exactly. So, but I finished what I said, answered the question that you want me to ask. Time to answer. Go ahead, prove it. Just because it's negative doesn't mean that you're exempt from proving it. And then to a question about the stem cell thing. Well, the animalism, the sperm cell or egg cell is going to be a person, right? Because it's a specific type of animalism I'm taking here. It's just a form of animalism called hylomorphic animalism. And under hylomorphic animalism, X is an organism if only X is a composite body and soul. I don't think that sperm is a composite of body and soul. I don't think that egg is a composite of body and soul. I think that feces are composites of body and soul. this argument whole hinges on. So you wouldn't be able to make claims about the specific food time or the existing food time because it's not a person. The criteria to be a person, you just do body and soul. And neither the soul or the body is prior to another. So both the soul and the body are interlinked. Yeah, that's an answer your question, so you can go ahead.
Okay, that's beautiful and all. What exactly makes a human organism a human organism?
God damn.
What?
What sense? In the sense that I'm talking about.
Okay, so since for some reason like this ape couldn't understand a very simple biological question, but I simply asked you, what is the trait of a human organism that makes it a human organism?
In a metaphysical sense.
Yeah. If you
sense
in a
I'm
fucking
talking about.
biological sense, do you think when we talk about
Yeah,
human
in a
organism, we're
biological
talking about like in a
sense, I don't know.
metaphysical sense?
I don't know if there are any. Wait, let me just answer your question. I don't know if that. Look, I think that to be a human, look, this might just be a rough definition. So obviously, not biology. To be a human organism, with the necessary criteria, which to be have the full human, have the full so just be in the genera,
Okay.
just be in the species of being human via
Mhm.
having those properties like genetic properties.
So the DNA.
Yeah, human DNA.
So
human
the DNA.
protein,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you take it that the DNA is the persisting property?
I think that you can change DNA and each person will be the same person. I just told you what makes a person.
How is that? You said it was both a composite of a soul and human organism, the genome.
What said is that X is a person if and only if X is a composite of body and soul.
Okay, yeah, body and soul. I'm simply asking if this is the case. If you say body and soul, you're fucking saying a conjunction, you retarded bitch. If I'm saying that it is the case that the DNA is not going to be a persisting property and it's going to change over time, then it's probably going to be the case that this quote unquote human organism, under your view, is going to become a different person under this holomorphic dualism shit. Because
That's just a grave misunderstanding of
changed.
the difference between a sufficient condition. That's the not sufficient condition. Because if you try to my definition correctly, you would hear
Nigga.
my definition.
Wait.
That, wait.
You need the baby.
Go ahead.
If you try my definition correctly, if you try my definition correctly, you would understand that I believe a person's a composite of body and soul. For an essential change, offer change the actual person to go ahead. You wouldn't need to change the body, but you need to change the body and soul because neither body or soul is prior to each other, both interlinked entities. So you wouldn't just have to change the body to have a substantial change in a person. You'd have to change the body and soul because it's for a person to be a person, it's necessary that they're a composite body and soul. So no, changing the DNA of a of a person would not be enough to constitute to a substantial change because unless changing the DNA will actually change their soul as well, but it's changing a specific aspect of their body.
The baby Yachty.
Wait. Okay, I just want to make sure we're like on the same page here, right? So you're taking it to be the case that this composite of a body and soul, even if it is the case that the DNA can change over time, it is still going to be the same person because the soul is the same, correct? And I'm not strawmanning, I'm asking and clarifying.
Yeah, what I said is that both the body and soul have to go under a change. That would be what the substantial change.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, I get that part of the soul. Yeah, so what's going to be the argument for a soul existing?
You want the argument for homomorphism?
I mean, obviously, you're not going to talk about fucking composites and bring up a soul and take it to the slide, retard.
Look, the argument for why souls exist is already kind of implied by the argument I gave in scans.
Nigga is Rizzhan versus Pussy.
I think that's already entailed. Via the argument in scans because I think.
But Rizzhan go.
I'm looking at your argument right now. I don't see how it's implied that there's anything regarding like a soul. This doesn't prove anything. This just talks about numerical identity via fucking organism, dumb bitch.
Niggas text debating.
So I'll give you your time to formulate an argument about a soul. If you want, you can ask ChatGPT for it, but I'm not going to like let this slide.
Type shit.
Nigga is
You not
text
here
to
to
debate.
What are you talking about?
And this pussy nigga hard, bro.
Yeah, bro. This
What?
is
Yo, Rizzhan, you know, I'm like short on time here. I'm not waiting like for an entire day for your
Who's
fucking
winning?
school
Who's
argument.
winning? Who's winning?
The pussy
Bro, I
was
ain't gonna
pussy.
lie. Rizzhan, you suck, bro.
I
What,
think
bro? What happened?
vagina's winning, bro. Vagina's winning. It's bad.
Bro, there's no vagina, nigga. What are you talking about?
Are you retarded?
It's pussy, nigga.
I thought pussies and vaginas were different. Sorry.
You're retarded.
Nigga is losing to pussy. Like, nigga, Rizzhan gay.
But how is
Yo,
that gay?
yo,
How you lose to pussy? You should want to win against pussy. Nigga.
Wait, Pucci, did you hear what I was saying?
No, you didn't say anything.
Okay, yeah, I hear what I said. So again, as I was saying, I think that the argument in scans rules out both brain and body dualism, Cartesian dualism, and also like a brain superiority theory of the mind, like a psychological continuity theory of the mind. So I think that if it rules out all three of those, then the implication there is just some form of the soul existing, but obviously the soul that wouldn't be ontologically prior to the body. Hence why hylomorphism is entailed. I think that the falsity of those three just entails
you booty.
some form of hylomorphism, which would just be the form of hylomorphism that makes sense to it.
You careless. He farted on accident. He didn't mean to fart.
Yeah. Calm down. Yeah. So you're saying that like this thing apparently like disregards all theories of personal identity, and it's going to be implied that like it's gonna I like it's so weird. It's like so weird. Like I don't know what's like your problem where you like can't wait till people finish speaking. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Right? You're saying that it's going to disregard all the theories of like personal identity, and it's going to give like it's going to like assert for some reason your theory of hylomorphic animalism. But the problem with this is that even if you take it to be the case that this argument in of itself, even though I look, you think it's kind of like beg of the question, right? You think that it asserts hylomorphic animalism. I'm still like I'm reading it. I'm on the fucking scan right now. All I can read from this and all I can take from this is numerical identity via regular animalism. There's nothing about a soul here. You can't just say, well, you know, since this argument it's talking specifically about animalism and it's just going to automatically disregard all theories of personal identity that are not animalism, we can just say that this is going to be a good argument to justify the soul existence. That's not how that fucking works.
Bro, you gotta calm down.
Wait, you asking this argument doesn't imply hylomorphic animalism?
Can you repeat that?
Because if you don't think that, if you don't think that this argument implies hylomorphic animalism, then I just run through that. But
okay. Look. I'm gonna re-clarify. I'm gonna re-clarify exactly what I said. Apparently, with your question, you didn't even understand anything I said. So I'm gonna re-clarify. Right? So look. Okay, fine. Go on with your schizo rambling. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, look. Well, you can claim that the argument's just talking about animalism. That's fine, but if you actually read the argument, like it's not just talking about animalism. It's also talking about, and I said this earlier in the bit, it's also talking about the fact that we have a numerical identity between the organism and the organism and the person, right? Now, what I told you this means earlier is not some form of like biological animalism, right? So I'm not saying that there's some kind of biological organism, biological entity that's identical to the person. Rather, what I'm saying is just that the person, what it is, or what we mean when we say that thing is identical to the organism, that the organism is a composite of body and soul. And so that obviously implies hylomorphic animalism, because obviously hylomorphic animalism just the organism is a composite body and soul. What it means for X to be an organism, what it means for X to be a person, just that composite body and soul. So obviously the argument doesn't imply hylomorphic animalism.
I have a before I attack what you just said, I have a genuine question. Did you like what was the fallacy that I called out with this argument?
Damn.
What you said that you begged the question. I don't understand.
Okay. Yeah. So why do you think that I called that before I talk about what you just said, which again it just proves that you're not tracking the conversation. Why do you think I take it to be the case that this argument, at least the first part, is going to be a beg of the question?
I don't know. I don't see where it begs the question.
No, obviously you don't, because this is the argument you're using, and it obviously seems intuitive to you. So it's simply going to be a beg of the question in the case, right, that you're already asserting that the correct theory of personal identity is the one that's going to assert biological continuity. There's nothing here. It's like me giving an argument about like psychological continuity, and all I say is that like, oh yeah, I like it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm not done speaking. It's like if I talk about psychological continuity in my argument, right, I'm obviously going to need like supporting arguments or supporting premises that are going to. I'm sorry that I'm not done speaking, Rizzhan. Calm the fuck down. I'm seriously gonna need like some. I'm like it's so weird. Like, are you okay? Like, are you genuinely okay? Calm the fuck down. I'm gonna need some. Oh my goodness! Like this is actually insane. This is actually insane. As I was saying, right, this is the third interruption, right? The third interruption. I'm calling out this beg of the question. I'm explaining why. If you don't give any sort of like supporting premises as to why psychological continuity is false, right, then I can just simply dismantle this argument by saying there's going to be an ontological change when a mind erupts. And then not only that thing, when you talk about this whole thing about a composite of the body, I'm sorry that I'm not done speaking, right? The first one was that I can reject this with an ontological change in the fact that a mind erupts. And then the second thing was, you're still not answering. I don't understand how you don't get my critique. My critique is simply saying that you can't say that, okay, an organism is going to be a composite of the body and the soul. I asked you for the argument that a soul exists. This doesn't tell me fucking anything about a soul existing.
Okay, exactly. So
yes, I'm done finished. That's why I stopped talking.
So to respond to the whole begging the question thing, the argument doesn't beg the question. In fact, there's many things that could actually be true. So you're in like the first two premises, right? Or like in the first 5 premises. Animalism isn't actually the only thing entailed by the first 5 premises. You could have like a different theory of mind entailed by the first 5 premises. In fact, you could even affirm Cartesian dualism being true in the first 5 premises. What he establishes, even conclusion 8, it establishes animalism, but you still might be able to find alternatives like within animalism, right? So you wouldn't just like be committed to like a biological form of animalism. You could take like a hylomorphic form of animalism, but that's not the point. It doesn't beg the question because it doesn't assume animalism. What it only assumes, and if it doesn't even really assume this, it only assumes the continuity of personhood, right? So persons persist over time. It doesn't even really assume this because it states in premise 1. It's not some like bloated description that it makes before the argument's even made. It literally states like the principle of personal, like the continuity of personhood and personal community in the first premise. So it's not like begging the question or assuming anything. And then
My fucking god, bro.
to respond to the point about like to respond to the point about me having to demonstrate that there's a soul and why psychological continuity is false. Look, I just told you why I think that there's a soul, why I think that this tells us is a soul. I told you that from premise 8 we can conclude more things. We can from the conclusion number 8 we can conclude multiple things, right? We can conclude that brain-body dualism is false. We can conclude that Cartesian dualism is false. And we can conclude that a view that has like the brain's the priority is like psychological continuity is false. So I just said that we can enable those 3 things. You never said that, by the way. I said that we can conclude or infer those 3 things being false from number. We can infer those 3 things false from number. We can establish at least some form of animalism is true, right? So it might be a biological form of animalism or hylomorphic animalism. Now, I told you the reason why it's hylomorphic animalism is simply just because I'm not talking about a biological entity here. I'm simply just saying that what an organism is just to be a composite body and soul. And so, if the definition of an organism, or if what it means for us to be identical to an organism or X to be just that is a composite body and soul, then obviously holomorphic animalism would just be entailed from the conclusion. Now, you want me to also prove that something like psychological continuity is false? Well, I think there's multiple reasons why psychological continuity is false. I think that like they suffer from like a bunch of like moral reductios, and I also think that it's just like less ontologically parsimonious, right? So you might have heard about like, the multiple person problem, but the multiple person problem is just like a problem where, okay, so the organism is different from the person, right? So let's say you're sitting in a chair. In the chair, the organism, which I wouldn't say is you, but I'm not going to assume is you, but I'm just going to say that the organism is thinking. And then you'd also say that the person is thinking. But you also affirm that the organism and the person are two distinct things, implying like that there are two thinkers in the chair. So there are two things thinking in the chair. It seems that under animalism, we need to make this commitment because we can simply just say that there is one thinker in the chair. As organism as being a person is just inclusive of being an organism, or being a person just identical to what it means to be an organism. So we wouldn't need to make this statement that two things are made that seems ontologically parsimonious and psychological continuity.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so the first thing that I was saying is, I'll talk about your like retarded like Zenny fucking thinking animal shit later, right? But the first thing that I am talking about, right, is that I'm saying that nothing that you have said, right? Can you calm down? Yo, tell whoever you're speaking to, you're talking to fucking Pucci. The fuck?
Yeah,
You're not like that, bro. We don't even know who you are.
Fuck up, retard. Dumbass nigga. Anyways,
Hey,
as I was saying, right?
What's the
Anyways, shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you, bitch.
Oh my god,
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Oh my god. Anyways, as I was saying, right? So the first point that you brought up, like for some reason, I don't know why you believe that this attacked anything that I said and my concerns with your argument. Because even it, like again, look, I understand you say that this doesn't like suppose animalism or something, but you are very well aware that by simply using you are identical to your organism or entailing some sort of biological continuity, you are unironically presupposing animalism. Even though you think you're not, that's what you're doing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're going to say that due to this argument, this suddenly throws all theories of personal identity out the window, that's another problematic view. Because this is the third time I mentioned it to you. The third thing that I'm going to talk about is the fact that you believe that with everything you said about how my argument is going to, if it dishes this out, right? Hyolomorphic animalism, compositive body and soul. I don't care about anything you said. I simply asked you for an argument. It doesn't even have to be fucking formal. It can be informal. It can be laid out very like messy. I'm asking for motivating reasons as to why the fucking soul exists. And you're not giving me this. You're just telling me an organism is the composite of the body and soul. I fucking get it. Under your view, that's what you've been telling me the entire time. But I'm asking for a simple argument as to how the soul exists. And then the last thing, when you brought up the thinking animal argument, I reject this. I don't think how do you think that an organism can think? Can you lay that out for me? An organism can't think. If you think that an organism, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no, I don't think an organism can think. I think the only thing that has the thinking ability is the brain/mind.
Do you think that the organism has a brain? Just answering that.
The organism has a part that is a brain, yes.
Okay, so the organism does have a brain in its possession, right?
You didn't say that.
Yeah, the organism has a brain, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. So if the organism has a brain, and then you say that, okay, the brain is thinking, or the brain is doing an activity, it's just, I don't think, remembering. Do you think that's just not the same as me saying that the organism is thinking as well? Or do you think there's a distinction between the brain thinking and the organism? What could possibly be the distinction?
Can you say that last line?
I said, do you think there's somehow a distinction between the brain thinking and the organism? What could possibly be the distinction?
When I talk about thinking, I'm usually referring to like cognitive abilities, and I think these cognitive abilities are only present in the brain. It's not something that is present for the organism in a. I'm sorry that I'm not finished, right? I don't think that this whole cognitive ability thing is dependent on the organism. And absent of a brain, an organism can't think. It doesn't have the cognitive functions to do this.
Wait, but you just said an organism has a brain. So
Are you fucking retarded?
Wait. You just said the brain. Wait. Let's just clarify this real quick. You just said that the brain has the cognitive ability to do these things, but the organism doesn't have the cognitive ability to do these things. Well, the organism has a brain. That's like me saying that heart has the ability to beat, but the organism doesn't have the heart. We don't have the ability. Well, no, the organism has beating, but we wouldn't say something like, okay, the brain is thinking, and the organism has a brain, but the also isn't thinking. No, that's just like you just didn't give an argument for why we would accept that.
Oh my fucking god. Okay. You believe that an organism can't think without a brain, correct?
If we're talking like a biological organism, I don't think it can think.
Okay. Can a brain think without a human organism?
Wait, what did you say?
Can a brain think without a human organism?
No. What? No.
Do you believe that?
The brain needs necessary connections to the. Do you know how biology works? The brain has necessary connections to the things in the body, which allows it to perform specific functions.
I think you're very unclear. Yeah. I think we're very unclear with like what I'm saying is right. If it's the case that like the cognitive functions are present in the brain, right? And the organism doesn't possess this cognitive ability. If it is the case that only the brain possesses it, then I can just simply say that it is going to be true that the organism without a brain, it can't think. So when you say that like there's this thinking animal, right? A thinking animal, sitting in the chair, the organism is thinking, the brain is thinking, and there's going to be two thinkers in this thing. I just immediately have to reject it because I just don't. What was that?
Wait, what's the models up here?
What's the modus? What?
What's the models up? When you say can, what's the models up?
I can't understand anything you're saying. You're gibbering.
Modal scope.
When you say
He said, what's the modal scope? The modal
What's the
scope.
modal scope?
modality?
What's the modoscope?
Yes.
Modoscope of?
When you say can the brain think without a body, what is the scope of modality?
What, nigga?
Do you not know the
Bro.
question? It's a very simple question.
No, I don't understand the question. Can you repeat it?
Okay. When you say that the brain cannot think, when you ask me when can the brain think without a body, what modal scope, modalscope, are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about when we're injured, inserting more modality here. So I don't know what modoscope I'm
So
using.
you just don't know what we're talking about. So why would you even ask me that question?
Why do you think a modoscope is necessary for this conversation? What?
I think that modal scope is necessary for dictating what that possibility or what that can mean. I don't think it means anything.
Why do you think that is the case?
What object you're indexing it to.
Why do you think that is the case, Rizzhan?
Because the reason why I think that is the case is that I also think that it's logically possible for a brain to think without its body. I not think that is physically possible for a brain to think without its body. Just as I think that it's logically possible for an organism to think that its brain, whereas I don't think that it's physically possible for a body to think that its brain. Hence why I asked you for the model scope.
I don't think that's necessary.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's this. Okay, dude. If you read like some sort of like modality book like yesterday, and you thought that talking about modal scopes and a fucking thinking animal argument was gonna help you, I really don't know what you were thinking that you were doing. This conversation can go and flow on effortlessly without you talking about modality. It's not necessary to this conversation.
We have the recording conclude.
What?
We can conclude. We can say.
Yo, can
Oh
you
no,
guys
we're
put
not.
that
Oh
shit
no,
on
we're
the
not concluding yet.
please?
We're not concluding yet. No, we're not concluding yet.
You don't want to conclude. Is that because
Oh no, because there's also when I was talking specifically about the whole when you went about the thinking animal, you actually interrupted. I was gonna say like something about your whole composite thing, and that's the reason why I've been begging for a fucking definition of a soul, which you failed to do, but it's fine. Do you take it to be the case? Yeah, I asked for a definition of a soul and a soul existing, right? and you failed to do that. But I simply want to talk
Yeah.
about your view about mereology.
Mereology.
I mean, you're talking about fucking composites, aren't you?
I was talking about modality.
What the fuck? Are you okay, nigga? Okay. If I just said that earlier when you were talking about the whole composite of a soul and a body, right? Right? You were here, right? Did you hear anything I say? I just want to make sure we're on the right track. This nigga
Rizzhan, hello?
disappeared again.
Rizzhan. All right, fucking lovely.